I did a video last year, in May last year, this is June this year, of showing a tour of all my posters, gig posters, rock posters, concert posters, whatever you call them. If you're watching that video, turn it off. Don't watch that one. That one's old. Watch this one instead. This is the new remastered, remixed, reissue, mega anniversary expanded issue of my rock poster tour, gig poster tour. I've got, I think 6 or 8, 7, something like that, new ones since the last one. Got them all hung last night, framed over the last couple of months. So I'm going to do a new tour. I guess some of them have, I guess like Rod Stewart says, every picture tells a story. They don't all tell a story, but some of them kind of do. I'll mention. So if you like these posters, you might like this tour. I call this one the Pearl Jam Hall. This is, I've got 8 on each side. These are all Pearl Jam. Starting over here, this is from their Canadian tour in 2005 in Kitchener. I saw 4 shows on that tour in 2005 in the fall. Pearl Jam from Toronto, 2003. I saw 5 shows on that tour. In 3 countries. I saw Canada, US, and Mexico in that tour, or on that tour. Toronto, 2005, also on that Canadian tour, one of the 5 that I saw. Cleveland, 2006, I saw 4 shows on that tour. My friend Kevin Montavon, and also Jason Satterfield, they know about this. I went to that with them. Flipping over to this side. A lot of these were in the last video, but they've been all reorganized. Here's Toronto Night 1 of the 2006 tour. That was the Avocado album. This was the opening night. Actually, no, this was the opening night, I think. Yeah, that was, what was the date of this one? I don't know, I think that was the first night. Anyway, they played 2 nights in Toronto at the Air Canada Centre. I saw 4 shows on that tour. Going back to the 2005 tour, this is London. These are all by, well, I'll finish this off. Here's Mexico City, very memorable for me. That was my first concert, or first concerts in Mexico. That started my love affair with concerts in Mexico, and kind of was a little bit responsible, at least to some degree, for me moving here. This was, where's the dates? 3 nights. I went to all 3. That was July 17th, 18th, and 19th. In 2003. Those were very, very memorable shows. So all these posters are by Ames Brothers, which is the I guess design company that Jeff Ament from Pearl Jam, I guess he and his brother run it. I'm not sure exactly who the artists are. These are all Ames except this one. That's by a guy named Brad Clausen. But all of them are Ames. Other than that, I think that one too. What does this say? I think it's Ames. All right, so that's the Pearl Jam Hall. Moving out here. I'll get back to those ones later. This is Torch. That's my cat. That's a bonus of the tour. Torch with a few bands from Mexico. El Escuadrón de la Muerte from San Luis Potosí, Weed Snake, and Black Overdrive from Mexico City. That was really fun. That was just a couple of months ago. It was in February. It was kind of a fluke that I found out about that show. They were playing, Torch was playing in the north in Monterrey with Cardiel, who is one of the great bands that you'll ever know. And I saw a post about it, and then I saw this Torch show in Mexico City, so I assumed that Cardiel was playing there too, so I committed to going to it. Turns out the Cardiel didn't play, but I liked Torch enough anyway. They were kind of new to me, so I thought I would check it out. Had a great time at that show. It was really fun. And the poster was free. I saw a guy carrying it. They were using this design. It's by a guy named Arturo Fresan from Ojo de Bruja is the name of his design company. I don't know if I'm using all these terms correctly. But they were using this image to promote the show, and I never thought there would actually be posters for such a small show. But I saw a guy standing outside the venue before, and he was holding the poster, and I saw the promoter of this guy from Carcoma Records, where it says there. And I asked him about the poster, and he went inside, and he came back, and he gave me one. So, pretty cool. Moving on to these three. This is one of my favorites here. This is for reasons, not just the design. This is Radio Moscow. Moscow, as they call it in Mexico. Now, along on that show was the previously aforementioned Cardiel and the Rising Sun. I'd never heard of either of those two bands, and now I've seen each of them about 10 times live each. I love both those bands, so that I have good memories of that show. And also, it was presented by this pizzeria named Pizza del Perro Negro, which I'd never been to before, but I've been to quite a few times now, and I love it. It's just about the best pizza you'll ever have, at least in Mexico. It's really, really good, really unique. This one is by a guy named Mike Sandoval, who has a great signature. And there's his signature there. This poster is signed by Mike. I got this from Mike from his, this is an artist proof. I'm trying to zoom in. This is an artist proof. I got it from Mike's personal stash about a year after the show, a year and a half, something like that. No, half a year. And there it is. I don't know how well the camera's seeing this, but that's the artist proof. So a lot of good memories attached to that show. It was really fun, and it was a free show too. And it really introduced me to Cardiel and the Rising Sun. So very cool. This is another cool one. It's a really cool design. Obviously a Dia de Muertos theme with the skull. Wolf Mother and Cadaver. I think of it more as a Cadaver poster because I went to that show to see them, not to see Wolf Mother. That was the first time Cadaver played in Mexico. Again, really, really good memories attached to this show. I got in free to that show. A mutual friend of mine and the tour manager for Cadaver, he knew I was a big fan, so he got me on the guest list. So, which was good because it was an expensive show for me only to see Cadaver play for, I guess it was 45 or 50 minutes. This is also signed and numbered, but on the back by the guy who did this is Jason Abraham Smith from the company called Lurk and Destroy. So very colorful, cool. I always like Mexican designs, so that one's really cool. This one is, this is my first poster ever. This is Pearl Jam Buffalo 2003, also Ames, just like the other Pearl Jam posters. My first poster ever, this was May 2003. This was $15. This was before, this was maybe right at the start when these posters were really becoming a hot item. And I got it no problem. I think a year later, these posters you had to line up, you know, early in the morning and run into the venue and get it. But I got this one no problem. First one, $15. And it turned out to be just about probably the best show of the tour. It was a very memorable show. They played almost 3 hours that night, which they do normally now, but back then it was a big deal. They played 3 encores. Really, really good show. It was the night after the infamous, I guess, incident in Long Island where they had some problems. You can look that up if you want more information. All right, moving on. This is kind of new edition. This forms kind of like an arc around the TV. All right. A new addition that wasn't in the last video is this. This is the Cadaver wall. We got 1, 2, and 3 Cadaver starting here. This is from Cadaver's most recent show here in Mexico City. This was in December last year, 2016. God, I love Cadaver. This is by a guy named Tony Olvera. And this is also signed and numbered. I can't see if that's number... It's out of 150. I don't know if it's 48 or 98. I can't see and I can't remember. Really, really good show. I lined up, I think at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was the first one in line to get into that. I went with my wife. That was her introduction to Cadaver live. She had kind of liked them, and didn't come with me to these other shows, but we went to that, and it was really good. I got that one into that one free too. From again, the tour manager was a guy named Ryan Tarby. Was nice enough to remember me from that show from a couple years earlier and sent me an email and asked me if I wanted to get in for free, so I was on the guest list. This one, Cadaver, was 2015. This poster is by the same guy that did the Radio Moscow poster over there, Mike Sandoval. Probably my favorite. Just visually, if I see all his stuff together, his stuff really stands out to me. This is also signed and numbered. The camera, I'm getting too close. He's got a great signature. In addition to being a great artist, maybe part of that is having a cool signature. And it's this, I specifically asked for number 100 out of 100. So that one's pretty cool. And a note about this one, all the blue or turquoise color represented here was supposed to be purple. The original design, you can probably find it online somewhere, it was in purple. And I guess when they printed it, there was some mix-up or some problem and it came out like that. Anyway, I like it this way. I think I like the purple better though. This one, not my favorite poster, but of the hundreds of concerts I've been to, I've been going to concerts since 1984. 33 years, over 33 years, this is the one single one that I consider my favorite concert ever. If anybody ever wants to ask me, that's what I'll tell them. For too many reasons to get into here, but that's my favorite. Everything was just perfect. That was the night after their opening, Cadaver's opening with Wolfmother. This was the next night at a small, really small, cool bar called Caradura. And looking back on it now, it's amazing to think that a band like Cadaver played such a small bar. This is also signed and numbered. The guy's name is Kraken. Well, good artist, but kind of a pain in the ass to deal with that guy. This is number 50 of 50. Pretty cool. He was signing them at the show. I think the show was only announced about 2 weeks before. So I guess the poster was kind of done at the last minute. So he was signing them at the concert. He was sitting down at a table signing them. So I specifically asked. Number 1 was gone. So I got 50. There's Pearl Jam Detroit, 2006. Again, the Avocado Tour. That was the last time I saw them on that tour. Last out of 4. Ames Brothers, that one again. Soundgarden from Mexico City, 2013. This is by a guy named Smithy, a Mexican artist, which was Soundgarden's first ever show in Mexico, and obviously now their last. That one I didn't get at the show. I didn't even see them at the show. I saw them online after and bought one. Also signed and numbered. This is number, what is that, 36, I think, of 125. All right, whatever. And there's the signature over here. Here's another new one from the collection. This is by far the biggest one. I guess to put it into perspective, to see this Black Sabbath one compared to the size of some of these other ones. This is a really big one. This is also by Kraken, the same guy that did this Cadaver one over here. And I guess I just remembered a note about this Soundgarden one. Apparently the band autographed a very small number of them and put them for sale at the merchandise stands without letting anybody know that they were signed. So I guess some people got a signed poster signed by the band. Black Sabbath. This is from the End Tour in Mexico City. November 2016. That was just about 6 or 7 months ago. Black Sabbath's last show in Mexico. Like I said, Kraken. There's a signature. This is an artist proof. Also, there were only 30 of these made, so this one's super rare, and it was very expensive. This is the most expensive of all the ones I had. Very hard to get to. I actually went to his house, to Kraken's house. He invited me to come get it, which is pretty cool. I saw some of his other stuff. But it's a cool poster. It's a big one, and I think a pretty cool design. And it's Black Sabbath. So, and the last I think of the new ones. This is the trifecta of Metallica and Iggy Pop from the shows here that they played in Mexico City in March a couple of months ago. They played 3 nights. Now about this, I only went to 2 shows of the 3. And now these 2 Metallica posters, the 3 of them form one picture when you put them all together. This should be the second Metallica poster, but since I didn't go to the concert, and I only collect posters from concerts I've been to, no matter how good they are, I just won't buy it if I didn't go to the concert. So I wasn't sure if I should buy it to complete the picture of the 3, but I thought I would feel better about not having it than having a poster from a show I didn't go to. So this is from Monk One, maybe one of the, I think, top artists that does these kind of posters and art. It's very cool. It's got a Mexican theme. It's got cactus, or I think they're nopales, and some pyramids down there. Cthulhu, March 1st. It's got the date, the venue. They played 3 nights at the stadium. The camera can't pick it up because it's on pencil, but these are also signed and numbered, which I didn't know until days after somebody told me, but you can't really see they're signed in pencil on black ink, so it doesn't show up, but they're signed and numbered. And then this other one, this is Moth into Flame. I like this one a lot. It's very colorful, really bright. And again, you can see the cactus and the skulls that form the picture, and the pyramids up there. And again, it's also signed and numbered. So I'm missing the middle one, but it's not so bad. I don't. It's not like a picture that it's incomplete. It just looks like they're the same color scheme now. Iggy Pop. This one is cool. I'm not really even much of an Iggy Pop fan, but I really love this poster. Really, really. When I saw it at the merchandise stands, it really, really stood out. And then when I went to see them 2 nights later at the 3rd show, I got it. And also I liked him. He was very entertaining live, much better than I was expecting. And I thought this poster was definitely worth a buy. This is also, it's a little bit covered up by the frame, but it's signed and numbered somewhere down there. This is by a guy named Juan Manuel Nares, which is a Mexican artist. A very cool poster. I love this poster. I love the orange and the blue is a good combination. And something kind of weird about these posters is all 3 of these, there were only 200 made of each. And this was at a show at shows at a stadium of 65,000 people a night. And the posters didn't even sell out. At the last night, the third night, they still had all 3 of the Metallica posters and the Iggy Pop one. That was when I bought mine. So maybe Mexican. They were expensive though. The Metallica posters were double of what the posters at shows in Mexico normally are. Maybe that's why price scared some people away. And the last 3, Pearl Jam from Hamilton, 2005 tour, also signed and numbered by Brad Clausen, the same guy that did the blue poster that I showed in the Pearl Jam Hall. Guns N' Roses from their 2 nights in Mexico City, sold out. That was in April last year. And I think out of all of them, my favorite one out of all 24 posters I have is Rolling Stones poster. I love the color. I love the Mexican motif. I love the font. Everything about it. That was hard to get. I had to run. I literally ran to get that when it was sold out when I first saw it. And I ran, I think, to 2 or 3 different stands to try to find it. Now I said I had no room for other ones when I did this last year, and I've got 6 or 7 new ones since. I think the only place I can really do more is up there, and that's about it. And I think I'm about 6 away from being able to charge admission and call this a gallery, and people can come in and look at my posters. The only thing is, if you're going to get into this, if anybody is going to start collecting these posters, you become a slave to it. It took me, I don't even want to say how long to put all these up, and then to rearrange them all last night to make room for the 6 or 7 new ones. It's very difficult. My wife can attest. Yeah, it's really hard knowing where to put them by size, by color, maybe by band. I don't know. There's a lot of things to consider. So that's the end of the poster tour. If anybody liked it, I never tell people to comment. I figure if they're going to comment, they're going to comment. But if you like it, if you have anything you want to add, leave a comment. I can't believe I'm saying this. So that's all for the tour. I don't know if I'm going to have any more posters again, but if I have a significant amount, I will do another tour. All right? See ya.